Welcome to Marketplace with Charles, where dreams are turned into reality. Marketplace is brought to you by Art of Skincare, the company that brings out the beauty in you, as well as Guisa Lodge from deep in the heart of Mabalingwe Nature Reserve. I am Keke Pagati. On Marketplace, we empower you and equip you with the tools needed to achieve your entrepreneurial dreams. That is why each week we bring you insights from experts in different fields of business, be it from men as well as women of faith. So coming up on today's program, we meet Miss Keke as well as Miss Jeany, beauty and wellness practitioners. That is because in a world of instant solutions, wellness is proving in itself to be quite a mission to come by. Yet wellness secures continuity in the bigger part of the life of an entrepreneur. The wellness of the entrepreneur offers security to all that are dependent on his or her establishment. That is why my guest today will talk to us about the value of wellness in the life of the entrepreneur as well as everybody else around him or her. Welcome Jeany as well as later on Miss Keke into your home, your hotel room, or wherever you are watching this episode from today. Miss Jeany, hello and welcome to Marketplace with Charles.
Thanks, Keke, and thank you for having us.
It's a total pleasure. I'm very excited. I don't know about you. I'm here to learn about how to keep this thing together, as well as the one inside, talking to wellness and beauty practitioners. So just talk us a bit about the services that you have on offer.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, the services that we have on offer is that we are actually a one-stop shop. So we are unique in the sense that, we do offer the normal beauty services that you would expect, at a beauty center, as well as hair and hair therapy and so forth. But then we also offer nutrition, weight loss. We offer also services for psychological well-being, counseling. So essentially, we strive to be that one-stop shop. Essentially, what we believe is that, as an entrepreneur, you need the vehicle of you to support that vision that you have, that purpose that you have. And essentially, you need to do the maintenance and the regular upkeep, of this vehicle. And we tend, I think, as entrepreneurs to, look at everything else, but the one vehicle that you cannot replace.
Exactly. You're looking at everything that's out there that needs to keep running. You forget about the item that's keeping them running, which is yourself. So being a one-stop shop, as you put it, for wellness as well as beauty. The question that sparks in my mind is, who defines beauty?
The simplest way to define it is beauty is in the eye of the beholder. That's one way that you can define it. But I think the true definition should really be that it should stem from yourself. You should be able to define for yourself what that beauty is. It's a bit more risky when you when you leave that definition of for others to define your beauty. So it's important from a self-care point of view to define beauty for yourself, so that you are able then to monitor, whether you are still in line with what you deem to be beautiful and what you deem to be important. So it's important that you actually, I believe, define the aspect of beauty for yourself.
Now, moving over from the beauty that you've just defined, let's cross over to wellness for the entrepreneur. How important is it for the entrepreneur to ensure their own wellness as well as the wellness of their employees working for them?
It is completely essential because the wellness of the entrepreneur is basically what ensures that vision is met ultimately. So it is important that a person does take time to, assess, psychologically, how am I doing psychologically, physically, am I still in line, with my goals? Am I still able to do the work that I need to do? For example, if you're a doctor, and you're not taking care of the very body that that you have, you can actually end up, causing people's death inadvertently, because you are not taking care of yourself. Yes. If you're going to do your work when you're exhausted, and you're going to do your work when things are just not right, psychologically, you can't even hear as the Holy Spirit guides you in the practice that you do. So it's absolutely crucial that we service these bodies. bodies. We tend to look at the theme parks that we have, whether it's Walt Disney, Gold Reef City, whatever the case is. There's a time when those theme parks close down, and at whatever 5 o'clock, whatever the case is, and maintenance is done, repairs are done, and so forth. If that doesn't happen in a couple of months or weeks, those machines could be killing people. But we tend not to do that with our bodies. We just want to continue going on and on and on, and at sometimes the body then just has to shut down and say, look, I need a minute.
And it's never nice when the body automatically shuts down. You want to take the calls, but your brain is like, I'd rather not have a phone today, and that's when people start becoming sick and they're wondering what's going on. Would you say that perhaps the government introduced the registration of the compensation scheme as a plan to mitigate this issue?
Definitely, because things do happen in the workplace. So whatever dangers, inadvertent dangers that may happen in the workplace, the compensation fund is there to ensure of that. So it's important, obviously, that that employers obviously are registered and so forth. I think what's also important is also to ensure that as an employer, you're also looking at the well-being of others. You're looking at the well-being of your employees. How are they doing? Because at the end of the day, if you don't invest in your employees, you are actually destroying the very essence, the most important resources. We all know that your employees are actually the most important resources. So you need to make sure. And from our point of view as a wellness center, that's what we're offering. Taking time out just to do a massage. That's where we come in, and we use technology to support you in whether it's your weight loss goals or your fitness goals. We've got the technology to help people to do that. So essentially, and also then, as we ministering and as we servicing our clients, what you tend to find is that a person may have just come in maybe just to do their hair, but as you're talking, you discover that they're going through a lot and they need a bit more support and so forth. So that's where the counseling aspect comes in. So hence we are a wellness center. We're a beauty and wellness center, as it were. So we're giving that holistic assistance to an entrepreneur and the people around him.
Listening to you, I know you're not giving me the pressure. I'm feeling it because I'm guilty, right? I have a confession to make. As an entrepreneur myself, I only value rest, right? I just go rest, literally sleep. I'm not doing anything. But in terms of attending to my wellness, that's not something I do actively or do enough of, right? Even though I'm a firm believer of the practice of build the people build your business, I feel like I could be doing more in order to build the people for them to build the business. So if you talk to an entrepreneur like that, or one who actually has no focus at all in their wellness as well as the wellness of their employees, how would you then, as a practitioner in that space, come in and help that entrepreneur?
Well, I'd certainly look at first making a person aware, that, there's actually a dollar or a rand amount to what you can actually lose if you do not take care of wellness. If you've got absenteeism, if you've got illness, whether it's yours or your employees, that is rands. We're talking rands, we're talking dollars. So you need to look at that proactively. So the issue would be that, doing a survey, always helps, so that you try and determine. I know a lot of people don't want to hear, we don't want to get feedback, we don't want to see exactly what's happening. Yeah. But, where are people, whether it's in the person's employees and also themselves, and there's surveys that we can take to try and assess exactly where a person is. And even in the center, we when you want to reach your goals, your fitness goals, nutrition goals, and so forth, we've got an in-body DEXA scan, which then scans the entire, your entire body, looks at your muscle component, your fat content, your water content, and so forth, and we can see exactly, where are you and what are the problem areas and where do we need to focus in terms of our fitness and health programs that we can give to you.
Okay, great. So, when you say that, right, I'm a bit scared to ask this, but there are people out there who are thinking exactly what I'm thinking, so I'm not alone in this basket. When you say wellness sessions, beauty sessions, I'm thinking it's a lack of time. You know, I'm having a jolt instead of working. So when you talk to an entrepreneur and about people going away from work, essentially to go have a good time, as we see it that way, we're thinking work versus play. So how many wellness sessions are relevant so it doesn't necessarily become all work and no play?
Well, essentially, it depends on what the need is. It's 100% need based. You know, if obviously, you know, I think what most organizations try and do is to at least have, you know, something quarterly on a quarterly basis, you know, and try and, you know, and put in a wellness program there. But then you'll find that, you know, with certain individuals, there's certain stresses maybe that they're going through, and essentially need a bit more, you know, in that regard. I mean, we've had, you know, some of the, you know, the companies that we our center is, you know, some of the management would come in and say, you know, I think my staff need this, you know, and whatnot. So it's easy for us to go in, work with the teams, and then assess, you know, exactly what people need. And if people need, you know, sometimes people have been through loss, and I mean, we've just been through COVID, and there's been a lot of loss in all arenas, you know, whether it's you know, life or financial, and you know, in some way or the other, it's impacted greatly in a lot of people. So essentially, then we can therefore then, you know, recommend that, you know, this person, you know, because they're going through this particular stressor, you know, this is the kind of perhaps counseling intervention that they need, and so forth.
So now you've mentioned a lot about your help in terms of services and products in the wellness space. I want to see, touch, and smell. Take us through the different products that you have for us.
Okay, so first of all, we've got, like I said, you know, the machinery that we have in terms of the technology that we have to help. You know, we've got machinery that works on your muscles, builds your muscles. We've got technology that works on, that actually targets fat cells, but then also does detox. It helps people with arthritis, you know, and all kinds of things. But then we also have products that also help people. So, for example, we've got alkaline water, which is a 10.2 pH level. You know, the tap water is normally around 5, 6, sometimes even 7. But our alkaline water is 10.2, because remember, the more alkaline your body is, the healthier you are, your body tissue. So the more acidic your body is, you know, that then leads to inflammation, which leads to disease. So so it's important that you help your body to alkalinize as much as possible. Okay. And then we've also got, you know, ketosome products. Now we have got a distribution agreement with Dr. Don Colbert. He's based in Texas, in the USA, and his products are great because there's no additives, there's no preservatives. You know, it's all natural, and it really just works with your, you know, with your physiology. So we've got things like the MCTL oil powder. This helps now. First of all, it gets you to you know, a keto zone. Okay, this is what is referred to when your body is using fat for energy as opposed to glucose. So so you normally get into a ketosis state when you have been fasting for some time, you know, a day or two and so forth. But these products can actually get you into ketosis within an hour. You know, so it can burn fat that way. And I must say, you know, I've used them personally, and you know, been doing very well, except for when I got a baby a bit earlier this year. So but essentially they work very well. You know, so, and then we've also got the hydrolyzed collagen, once again helping you to get into the ketosis state, and helping you, you know, joint issues and so forth. So this definitely works well. You know, sometimes, you know, people's bodies get very what's the word, not as
strong as they used to be,
and intact and fit, and so yeah, so collagen does help you to do that.
Okay.
Yes. And yeah, so basically these are just some of the products that that we offer then to help people, to help your body to service you better in your attempts as you chase your vision as an entrepreneur.
Okay. And I know that you are as unhappy as I am about what I'm going to say, but we have come to the end of our session. But after the break, I'll continue with Ms. Keke. Thank you so much for your time, Ms. Jeany.
Thank you so much.
And for you, viewers at home, don't you go anywhere, because after the break, we continue our wellness and beauty conversation with Ms. Keke. Well then, this is me very excited to welcome you back for joining us still on the Marketplace with Charles. And like I said, we are continuing the show with another wellness and beauty practitioner, Miss Keke. Miss Keke, hello and welcome to Marketplace.
Hi, I'm really excited to be here with you guys, and greetings to all your viewers.
Okay, fabulous. Not as excited as I am though, because I really want to know how you define wellness. What does it take for one to be able to proclaim that I am well?
You know, it's always so easy to know that a person is growing because you were born small and you are growing. You can see you grow physically and you develop. But wellness is more than just your physical growth, because whilst you're sitting there, you've got a psychological being, there's an emotional being of who you are, there is how you deal with your finances. So wellness is the totality of what makes you to be who you are as an individual, you know, not just the physical. We know that you are growing because we can see you growing taller, but there's a psychological being of who you are, there's an emotional being of who you are. So all that package of what makes you to be you is what we refer to when we talk about wellness, the state of where that each of those parts are at any point of your life.
Is it possible to separate the person from what's happening in their lives, example, business?
It is possible, but it is unrealistic because human beings are not an electrical circuit, you know? You know, electrical circuit, when you switch off the plug, then it sits there, nothing goes through and it doesn't burn. But with human beings, we carry ourselves wherever we are. It is what happens at home, you take it at work. The only difference now is that with wellness, it is where we expect you to be able to manage. Now I'm being a parent, now I'm being at work, I'm an employee. As an adult, the world expects you to be able to separate the two. And it is a fair expectation because we don't expect you to be at work crying about your husband. But then that is where wellness fits in, because we are coming in to say, because we understand that you cannot just leave your problems at the gate, how can we then help you to be able to manage them so that they just don't cross over to your workplace?
So let's help that person then. Here they are coming to work. They mustn't leave their problems at work. They must practice wellness. They are dealing with children that don't want to listen, or a spouse that's making them cry, or, you know, a bereavement in the family. Let's help that person now. How do we address the situation they're in?
Okay. I always say it's an example of like these two buckets, you know? The one bucket is full of everything that you've been through as an individual. You've gone through challenges, or you are going through challenges right now. You've got things that are not going well with you. So with wellness, when you come to us for therapy and for all that, that is where we start with what is in your bucket. What is it that you are carrying in your bucket that could be an interference with what you do day to day in your work, in your workplace. Wow. Okay, so we try and focus in that bucket so that we can empty it out, because most of the time that bucket is what interferes with the other bucket that is full of your creativity, your performance, your excitement about life, you know. So the negative bucket always interferes with the positive one. So we always try to say, how do we empty this negative bucket so that we can give room to the positive bucket to continue functioning as it's supposed to.
I love the bucket analogy, right? Because there's always the bucket that we prefer. I'd rather stay in the excitement bucket all day, speaking for myself, right? But you have this other bucket that's also part of your reality. So what options, let me rephrase, in what options would we present these buckets to the employer-employee so that it's clearer to them that it's either option A, B, what action am I to take now?
Okay. Wellness in the workplace, like I said, it's a total package. We first have to do an assessment of what the employer, the staff components, the age group of who they have, the types of business that they are doing. So once we do our assessment of that, then we are able to say, what package would be suitable for them? Because some companies just say, okay, we just want to create awareness for our employees to know that when they have problems, they should just come and consult, you know? Yes. So if that is the package, then we come in with therapy, with counseling, like, okay, staff members, when you have problems, call this number and just let us know and we'll be there to assist you, you know? But there are companies that says, we want the whole package. We want the training of our management. Okay. We want the management to be able to identify that people are having problems here. We want the management to be able to identify that this is interfering with how we do business in this company. So they would ask for training, and then we would do training, we would do the counseling package and the therapy. Yes. We would observe awareness days, because there's so many things that we can do throughout the the year, like if they say it's cancer month, so we come in and say, like, let's just focus on that, what is the key thing for that month, and create awareness so that people who are perhaps uncomfortable to say, hey, I'm going through this challenge of a terminal disease, can feel comfortable to come through. So it's just an assessment that we do for each and every company.
Okay, so you're talking about people being able to call you, right, for sessions, for some sort of therapy, but also taking it further to come in for training. Sometimes when companies hear the term therapy or they hear the term counseling, they're thinking it's very mushy stuff, pie in the sky. We can't really see the deliverables, what these people have done. So do you ever come across stigma towards the industry within therapy? And if so, how do you work around that?
It is generally viewed as a mushy subject. I like the words that teachers use. Generally speaking, especially with males. Males are, you'd find that they are not comfortable to sit and cry and talk about that, but that is not what therapy is all about. Therapy is people acknowledging ukuthi they are not superhuman beings. Therapy is people acknowledging ukuthi they have gone through issues and those issues could be interfering with their lives. There's this example that you always make, ukuthi a house, it can be the same house that you buy. You could buy a house. Depending on what happens in that house, people define it according to that. If a king stays in that house, it's suddenly called a palace. If they sell alcohol and beer, everybody calls it a shebeen. If they sell food, people call it a restaurant. And do you ever ask people, please call it a restaurant, please? No, they don't. They see it, that food is being sold here, so they call it a restaurant. So it is the same with human beings. If you have gone through a lot of pain, a lot of suffering and all that, people don't need permission for you to look at you and say, this is such a stressed person. This is an angry man. This is a bitter woman. Because you have gone through things. That is what your house is full of. Your body is full of that, the pain that you have carried. And people will see that because as they relate to you, it comes out. So whether you acknowledge the need for therapy or you don't acknowledge it, people will experience it and they will label you according to what comes out of you. So for us to avoid that, to avoid the experience of you having to try and be strong about what you've gone through, because you cannot, you can't keep it to yourself. You need to get to a point where you say, I need to go talk to someone. It will always start with the assessment. This is where we unpack that negative bucket. Okay. This is where we want to know what you carry. Because people, when they come, they are just like, my wife is leaving me, But there's a reason why your wife is leaving you. Today, it's just showing up, So now you just want us to solve the wife that's leaving you. But that's not it. There's something that was in the bucket that created the tension in the marriage and all that. So we always start with the assessment part of therapy, which is where we sort of go back to where do you come from? What have you been through? What happened to your life? What challenges have you gone through? What are you angry about? So that is the bucket that we sort of try to empty out. Then once we can say we've got a clear picture of that, then we try and highlight for you. We look at the positive bucket to say, what is in your positive bucket? What are your dreams and your goals? So therapy goes back to what happened to you and what's happening. And then I usually say it's like coaching. We don't leave it with where you have been. Okay. We then move on to say, but what are your goals and aspirations? And how can we help you to override the negative bucket so that you can achieve where you want to get to as a company and as an individual?
Okay, now that you've empowered the entrepreneur, can you please discuss the value of empowering the employees?
I think Jeany said earlier on when she was speaking, employees as the biggest machine that every company has. I know the world is moving technological and they're trying to introduce other systems and whatnot, but you'll always need people. When your staff members are unhappy or they're carrying things and you don't show empathy in how they deal with their personal problems, they will not give back to you the potential that they have. They've got so many skills. You've hired them because you believed in them. But once they go through problems and you don't show interest in trying to help them resolve and to try and deal with those issues, then you're going to lose them. And whatever it is that you hired them for will never be able to be achieved. Yes, at the end of it all, you've got staff that is full. You've got 100 employees in the company, but your production doesn't match the level of people you've got.
Miss Keke, with those words, unfortunately, we have come to the end of the show. So can you please just let our viewers know where they can reach you should they want your wellness and beauty services?
Okay, our company is called Choose Life Wellness, and we are based in Johannesburg. You can reach us through all the social media platforms. Our website is chooselifewellness.co.za, and we are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, and yeah.
Thank you so much, Miss Keke. It's been fabulous having you. Well, there you have it. Those were my guests, Keke as well as Jeany. Do meet again next week, same time, same place for another power-packed episode. Don't forget to check out the repeat of this very episode bright and early Wednesday morning at 1 a.m. And to catch the repeats whenever you would like, just subscribe to our YouTube channel for the Marketplace. That is YouTube channel name Charles Ngobeni. I assure you that's a decision you are not going to regret. Thank you so much for watching Marketplace with Charles, even though it's with Keke for today, brought to you by Art of Skincare. Do remember to get in touch with us on charlesngobeni.com. You may also want to follow us on Instagram, that is Charles_Ngobeni, as well as follow our Facebook page, which is Charles Ngobeni, and to get in touch with Maketi, that is Maketi Speaks Life on Facebook. Until next time, God bless and goodbye.
This is Dr. Abraham S. Raj extending an invitation from our free Bible school, KBSM, and I want to encourage you to come and train, equip, activate, and be released into the ministry. We take you all the way from believer to leadership level to ministry level. Do you believe you have a calling? Then we have the answer to usher you into your destiny. Remember, our material and our broadcasts are available all over the world. We are fully correspondent and have several international students. So why waste any further time? Contact us today as we train you into that next level of your ministry. Remember, we are free. Bless you. See you at one of our campuses.